All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical difficulty there. I think we got it figured out. Welcome to our Wednesday night series, our summer short track series, brought to you by KMA TV, KMA Racing, and RTK Motorsports. Tonight we're here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we'll be in the the Whelen Modifieds. Boys will be running 150 laps, and we are waiting on them to finish up their qualifying. Now, while we wait for them to finish up their qualifying, a little bit about Bristol Motor Speedway, short track located in Bristol, Tennessee. Looks like the drivers have completed their qualifying. Let's go ahead and take a look at that qualifying order. Looks like we have Rick Rilling on the inside row in the number 42 with a time of 1 minute 40 seconds 39 1 minute 40 seconds. Outside lane, Jason Russo. Starting in third will be Ben Ashline. Starting in fourth will be Paul Pellizier. Starting in fifth will be Austin Terrace. Starting in sixth will be Edward Bray. Rolling off seventh will be Elaine Goodrow. Eighth will be Ronald Klein. Ninth will be Joel Guy. 10th will be Lee Staples. 11th will be Eric Lebrun. 12th will be Will Worcester. 13th will be Joshua Byers. 14th will be Danny Rudy. Raymond Retour in 15th. Harry Dodd in 16th. And Dale Gravel in 17th. We are at Bristol Motor Speedway. The track length is just half a mile. Track temperature is currently 78 degrees. We're at an altitude of 1,472 feet. Track weather, 78 degrees. Air temperature is 78 degrees. And once again, we're at Bristol Motor Speedway, and thank you for joining our Wicked Wednesday broadcast. Seem to be having a technical difficulty with our green flag status up there. It's showing last lap. I do not know why it's doing that. I will try to get that fixed just as soon as possible. And green flag is out. Edward Bray is away. Edward Bray currently in first place. Jason Russo just behind in the number 14. Edward Bray out to a strong lead over the number 14 of Jason Russo. We watched Edward Bray make his way around this half-mile racetrack. Jason Russo just behind him, getting a little bit sideways, gets down on to that apron. Edward Bray already putting number 15 a lap down, and we've got a caution. Let's go ahead and try to find out exactly what happened there. As we watch the number 36 of Jason Eisenhower and the 16 of Raymond Rittner. Oh, the 36 looks like he just gets a little loose coming out of the corner. Spins it sideways. No contact. No contact indeed. That brings out our first caution of the evening. Gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break here. And see you back here in a few seconds. And welcome back. Go jump back up to our leader. Edward Bray being shown out in front. Paul Pelletier sitting in second. Lee Staples third. Jason Russo sitting back and forth after his little slide there. Joel Geisitz fifth. Like Raymond Rittner at sixth. Danny Rudy eighth. Harry Dodd eighth. Seventh. Not sure. Jay Eisenhower one lap down. Riling looks like he is not showing any data whatsoever. Rick Riling not showing any data. May have pulled it off. May have taken it to the hauler. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer and Gary Whitmer watching out there on that KMA TV chat. Thank you, Gary, for the congratulations. Appreciate that. Like we're double file getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Gonna go ahead and put us in the cockpit of Lee Staples, sitting second in that inside lane, and green flag's out and off we go. Edward Bray gets away. Lee Staples down on that inside right next to the number 31 of Paul Pellizier. Can't quite keep it down. Paul Pellizier getting to the back bumper of Edward Bray. Jason Russo makes a move around the outside of Lee Staples. Looks like there's a little more speed on that outside lane, or maybe Lee Staples might just be taking it easy right now. Edward Bray still out in front. Lee Staples has dropped from third back to fifth. Lee Staples with a last lap time of 14.624 as we jump up to our leader, Edward Bray, his last lap time of a 14.293. So Edward Bray running just slightly faster. Edward Bray is just starting to pull ahead ever so slightly as somebody gets into the wall there. Not sure if that's going to bring out the caution. I'm going to go ahead and back that up. That happened behind our leader. Looks like the number 17 may have gotten into the wall there. Did not bring out the caution as we go back live. Oh, catching some lap traffic. Edward Bray catching some serious lap traffic. Gives a little shove to the 36 car, getting him out of the way. Edward Bray not messing around here. 31 hot on his heels. 31 going high in the corner there. Manages to keep it out of the wall and right on that back bumper of the number 66 as we complete lap 26 of 150. Actually 27 of 150 now. Paul Pellizier definitely putting the pressure on Edward Bray. Paul Pellizier now falling back just slightly from Edward Bray. About 4/10 back, and Jason Russo catching up ever so slightly to the rear bumper of the number 31. As we walk through our field, we'll take a quick walk through the field here as the leader gets ready to put the number 9 of Joel Guy down a lap. Joel getting into the wall to keep it out of the leader's way. Edward Bray currently in first. Battle heating back up again. Maybe I won't go through the field as Edward Bray just pulls away just a little bit from Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier sitting in second place. Jason Russo sitting in third. Lee Staples sitting in fourth currently. Raymond Ratour actually 5 laps down. He's behind the number 14. Then it goes to that of Lee Staples, who's currently 4 seconds behind the leader. The number 17 of Harry Dodd, currently 6 seconds behind the leader. Joel Guy just 1 lap down, sitting in 6th. Jason Eisenhower 2 laps down, with the leaders coming. Edward Bray leading all 36 laps so far. Making his way around this short track, showing the rest of these guys how to get it done. Alrighty, for those out there watching on KMA TV, little trivia question for you. Bristol Motor Speedway was formerly known as what? Pretty easy one for you, but throw that out there to you and see if y'all can come up with the answer for that one, as we're riding along with Edward Bray on lap 39 of 150. This is going to go pretty quick if we manage to stay away from the cautions. Paul Pellizier still within a rock's throw of Edward Bray, just a couple tenths back, but every time he gets to him, he just can't seem to do anything with him. So we'll have to see if they're playing the cat and mouse game, or if Edward's car is just that much better. Oh, as Edward gets a little bit loose, Paul's got to run on the inside. We'll see if he can make it stick. Paul pulling down that inside lane, pulling away from Edward Bray. We have a new leader after 42 laps. Paul Pellizier taking the lead on lap 42 of 150. About a third, almost a third of the way into the book. That's not a very good view, folks. That's not a very good one either. The suspension views are not as good. Go up to the nose. There we go. Front row seat to what Edward Bray is seeing here as he tries to go below the number 31 of Paul Pellizier. Can't get that job done. Paul Pellizier sliding high. Edward Bray keeping a little bit lower line through those corners as he ducks underneath, unable to make the pass. 31 and the 66 out there running. Very similar lap times. Getting around the number 15 of Danny Rudy without issue. Paul Pellizier starting to pull away just slightly. Lee Staples currently sitting in third place, just 6.8 seconds back. Jason Russo has fallen back to fourth position. Harry Dodd back in fifth position. Joel Guy 3 laps down. Danny Rudy 3 laps down. Jason Eisenhower 4 laps down. Raymond Rittenor 5 laps down, and Rick Reiling has taken it to the hauler as the battle for the top spot starting to heat up again. Paul Pellizier still out there leading, choosing a little bit higher line. The number 16 of Raymond Rittenauer seems like he may have fresher tires. He seems a bit faster than leaders right now. Two different lines being shown here. Paul Pellissier driving one lane, Edward Bray driving another. As they put the number 9 car of Joel Guy another lap down. Raymond Rittenauer thinking about going underneath the number 66. And he does stick his nose underneath there. He wants around Edward Bray. He wants to get his lap back the hard way. Passes Edward Bray. Oh, as the number 36 gets up into the wall. Saw someone else down on the inside there. Not exactly sure who it was. As we watch the gap between Edward Bray and Paul Pellissier opening up now just a little bit. Paul Pellissier has put a 1.3, almost 1.4 second gap between himself and that of Edward Bray as he works around the lap traffic of the number 17 car of Harry Dodd, who is currently being shown in third position. Jason Russo must have had issues. He is now currently being shown 6 laps down. Like Raymond Rittenauer is now working his way up to the rear end of Paul Pellissier. Wanting to get one of his laps back the hard way. Edward Bray closing the distance down from 1.4 seconds down to 1.1 seconds. Big shout out there to Chris Hogue. And that is correct, Becky Whitmer. It was known as Bristol International Speedway and at one time Bristol Speedway, so that is correct. We watch Raymond Rittenauer go underneath Paul Pellissier, getting one of his laps back. Paul now being hunted by Edward Bray. The gap has shrunk from 1 second down to just 0.2 of a second. Now these guys have a 50% fuel load tonight, so I'm not sure exactly how long they'll be able to run before they will have to pit. Unfortunately, Paul Pellissier and Edward Bray are the only two on the lead lap at this time. Harry Dodd 1 lap down, Lee Staples 1 lap down, Joel Guy 4 laps down, Danny Rudy 4 laps down. I can bring up that running order and show you that. Raymond Rittenauer has just gotten one of his laps back. Jason Russo 8 laps back, and Jason Eisenhower 10 laps back. As we have another caution. As the 17 gets loose out of the corner and brings out the caution. There you have it, folks. That's why we're under caution. We'll jump back to our leader. Leader on pit road. No, leader is not on pit road. Edward Bray deciding he's going to pit. Oh, Bristol is is split. So it looks like Edward Bray was pitting on the front stretch. Paul Pellizier pitting on the back stretch. Possibly making a mistake and missing his pit. Looks like Paul Pellizier may have missed his pit. Can be confusing with the two different pit lanes here, as Edward Bray still sits on pit road getting service. Paul Pellizier getting service. Meanwhile, all of these guys getting some time back. Maybe getting some of their lap backs, as it looks like Lee Staples is currently showing on the lead lap. Paul Pellizier in danger of losing a lap because of how long this service is taking. And that will probably put Paul Pellizier a lap down. Not showing him 2 laps down currently. Or a lap down, I'm sorry. As he gets out of pit road and gets going for his service. All these cars will be taking the wave around. Looks like it'll be Edward Bray. Running order has not caught up yet. The statistics has not caught up to what's going on yet. Let's wait and see how they all get lined up here. I am showing Edward Bray, Lee Staples, Paul Pellizier. That is the standings that I am showing. And we are green. Strange. Oh no, and we have an accident on the front stretch. Go ahead and back that up. As we ride along with the number 14 of Jason Russo going into the corner. Number 36. Oh, just gets crazy wicked sideways, sending Jason Russo up into the wall, smoking heavily. Jason Russo sitting on pit road, probably getting repairs. This will probably not change the leader strategy. The leaders will all probably stay out. I'm still showing Paul Pellizier as the leader, which is incorrect. I should say iRacing is showing them, or IRTVO, the overlay. But Edward Bray out there on that front position right now. Let's go ahead and bring him up and give him a quick chat. Edward Bray, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah, there's a Ronald.
Good. A little bit of a interesting deal there through you guys' pit stops. Took a lot longer to get your pit stop done than what I would have thought, and kind of shook things up there on that restart.
Sure did. Seems like we had, I don't know if it was iRacing or I don't know. It seems like it takes a little longer to top off. So I guess with me coming in and topping off and getting tires, I guess everybody else decided to come in right after that.
Copy that. Well, you and Paul have been having quite the battle out there. You think you can hold them off here with 72 to go? I mean, you guys are just past the halfway point, and you were out there. You led like the first 42 laps, I believe, and then he caught up to you and got around you, and here you are back up in front.
Yeah, I got into a little bit of slower traffic, and I don't know what there was one low, one high, trying to get through, and yeah, it was just a little bit of a confusion, which allowed Paul to catch up a little bit.
We'll copy that. We'll be interested to see if you can hold him off. He's been your major competition out here tonight. Um, Looked like everything was going pretty well, and looks like you got 3 cars back on the lead lap. Your teammate Lee Staples back there in 3rd position showing currently, so maybe the two of you might be able to gang up on that number 31.
We'll see what happens.
Alrighty, well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck in the rest of the race.
Thanks, Ron.
Alright, your current race leader, Edward Bray, getting ready to start the race on that inside lane. As we get ready to take the green here, we'll have 70 laps to go. Gonna keep us in this position right here, give us a unique shot of the restart. And green flag is gonna be out. Edward Bray shoots away on that inside lane. Paul Pellissier jumping down into that 2nd position, getting past Lee Staples. Paul Pellissier not wanting to let Edward Bray get away here. Oh, as Paul Pellissier smacks the wall just slightly, opens up that gap to about a half a second now. I can hear a lot of banging going on in the background, but I can't see everything. Don't want to take our focus away from these leaders here. Edward Bray stretching out that lead just ever so slightly. About 7/10 of a second now, almost 8/10 of a second. All right, for you out there on that KMA TV, can you tell me when Bristol Motor Speedway was constructed? That's our next trivia question. What year was Bristol Motor Speedway constructed? As Edward Bray is your current leader, with just 63 laps to go, make that 62, pulling out to a 1.1 second lead over Paul Pellissier. Hard to get multiple drivers in on these shots, these camera angles that we have. Edward Bray with nothing but open racetrack in front of him for the time being, as we close it up on him so I can swing the cameras around to the rear so we can see Paul Pellissier 1.2 seconds back off the lead. Edward Bray doing a very good job of setting a pace here. Last lap of 14.4. Jump back to our 2nd place position. Paul Pellissier running a 14.5 second last lap, followed by another 14.5 second lap. Raymond Rittenauer still driving very hard although he is currently showing 2 laps down. .36 low may have just come out of the pits there. Jason Eisenhower currently being shown 14 laps down in 8th position. Jumping forward, Joel Guy in 7th position being shown 11 laps down. Danny Rudy in 6th position, 5 laps down. Lee Staples currently showing in 3rd position, 4.8 seconds back. Raymond Rittenauer is currently in 5th position, 2 laps down. Paul Pellizier in 2nd position has lost the leader by 2.5 seconds now. Perry Dodd showing 4th, just 2 laps down. Edward Bray out there in 1st position, pacing this field. Gonna go ahead and take the time to get in our next commercial. Be back in just a few minutes. Alrighty. And Becky Whitmer out there with the answer to our trivia question. 1960, and that is correct. 1960 was the year that Bristol, Tennessee constructed the NASCAR short track Bristol Motor Speedway. Congratulations, Becky Whitmer, on another correct answer. Raymond Rittenauer is putting pressure on our leader, the number 66, trying to get another lap back the hard way. Paul Pellizier currently 2.2 seconds back off the lead. As you can see him, he's the black and red car back in the distance. Raymond Rittenauer still fighting ever so hard to try to get back to Edward Bray as the number 9 car gets in the wall, trying to stay out of the way of the leader. Paul Pellizier just 2 seconds back now. Raymond Rittenauer trying to make a move on the inside, trying to get one of those laps back. Running the leader pretty hard as he gets a little bit squirrely, gets out of shape, and has to chase it up the track. Does manage to save it as Edward Bray continues to pace this field. Paul Pellizier trying desperately to close it in, though, with just 41 laps to go. He has managed to cut the lead down ever so slightly to a 1.6 second advantage. Alrighty, fans, I'll give you one more trivia question. We'll have to try to make this a tougher one. Edward Bray still out there leading. I'm trying to find a good trivia question for you guys. Paul Pellizier still about 1.6, 1.7 seconds back. Lost a little time to some lap traffic there. Raymond Rittenauer still not giving up. He wants that lap back. He's tracking Edward Bray very hard. All right, final trivia question of the evening. As we have a caution, hold that. Looks like Lee Staples down on that inside line. Hold that for 1 second. I'll give you guys the trivia question as Lee Staples goes for a ride. Let's go ahead and back up the camera just a little bit here. Lee Staples coming around the corner. Dives it into the corner. Getting a little bit loose there. Oh, and catches those water barriers. Oh, and looks like contact from the car. Not sure. We'll have to see if we can catch what car it was. Oh, as he just smacks that. Swing the camera around. The number 17 was unable to miss the number 64. That will probably send Lee Staples to pit road. Hopefully Lee has a repair left. Unfortunately, it looks like he may be under tow. Let's get a quick word in with our second place runner right now, Paul Pellizier Jr. Paul Pellizier, this Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty interesting race so far. Looks like you and Mr. Bray are the contenders here this evening. And earlier saw that you had been chasing him down and managed to get around him with about 40 laps on it, and looked like you were starting to kind of close the gap back in ever so slightly. With 32 to go, have you got anything for him?
Nah, he's faster short term, man. But we're going to race and try to keep a little pressure on him, see if he makes a mistake.
Copy that. Now talk to me about the paint job tonight.
It's just a standard ordinary flame job. But anyways, my car is a loose center. I'm thinking he's a little loose on exit. But short term, he's quicker. But like I said, I'll keep the pressure on him, try to make him make a mistake.
Well, you know, that's a common theme. You know, last night I fought really hard, had to fight really hard to get around some cars because I wanted to put pressure on the guys that were up front who were trying to make it on fuel, and I managed to get up onto Travis's back bumper and put a little bit of pressure on, probably make him drive just a little bit harder than he wanted to. Ended up running out of fuel and, you know, basically coming out of turn 4. So understand where you're coming from, and looks like you guys are double foul getting ready to go to green. So one way or the other, hopefully you can finish this off. I'll either talk to you in second place or first place.
All right, enjoy the show.
Thank you, sir. All right, as we get ready to go back to green here, as soon as we do, I'll put the cameras back at this angle here. We're off. Edward Bray gets away just ever so slightly. Paul Pellizier making it interesting, getting right up to the back bumper of Edward Bray. Not going to let him get quite as far away as last time. Edward Bray does start to gain a little bit of advantage on the exit of the corner, it looks like. As Edward Bray is just 0.4 of a second quicker than Paul Pellizier. This is going to be over in a hurry, folks. So that trivia question that I promised you, there was a preseason. Oh no, as Edward Bray gets loose, saves it. Paul Pellizier closes in on Edward Bray Oh, and then Paul gets loose. It gets up into the wall. Oh, no. And that's going to bring out a caution flag. What a change of events here. Let's go ahead and back that up. Alrighty, as we've got, we're going to back it up a little bit further because this started a little bit earlier than this. Let's go ahead and swing that camera around. Edward Bray getting loose. That puts Paul Pellissier on the outside. Paul Pellissier gets loose and corrects it, overcorrects it, gets into the wall. The car is, oh, airborne. And unfortunately, I do believe that probably blew his engine, as we see Paul Pellissier Jr. sitting on pit road. What a tough break for Mr. Pellissier. I am currently showing that we now have 4 cars on the lead lap. I assume Mr. Pellissier will probably end up going a lap down or more, waiting for the tow and the repair if he has not already used his repair. Jump back up to the leader and show you our current running order. Showing the number 16 of Raymond Rittenauer is now back on the lead lap. Harry Dodd 3 laps down. Paul Pellissier sitting there waiting for his repairs. Danny Rudy 5 laps down. Lee Staples looks like he may have taken it to the hauler. Joel Guy may have taken it to the hauler. Everybody else may have taken it to the hauler, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens here with Raymond Rittenauer. If he gets service and gets back out on that track, there could be a little bit of a change, and he is back out on the track, so it's not over, folks. Raymond Rittenauer was pretty quick. Maybe it'll give Edward Bray a little bit of a run for his money here, as we just have 21 laps remaining in this race. Lights are out on the pace car. It means we are going to be going back to green flag racing. I am going to set us up with a camera angle such as so. Green flag. Edward Bray gets off to a great start. The number 16 of Raymond Rittenauer, not going to let him get away though. Edward Bray still leading. Rittenauer trying to put on some pressure here. We watch this battle between the 66 and the 16. Edward Bray trying to do everything he can to keep the 16 behind him. The 16 trying to do everything he can to set Edward Bray up. It looks like he is checking high, checking low, seeing what he can do, trying to duck underneath, and he does get a run down on the bottom. Don't think he's going to be able to make it stick. Slows it down. Gets another run. They're side by side. Edward Bray hanging on that outside. 16 gets loose. Gets up into that wall. Loses just a bit of time. Just 15 laps to go here. All right, fans, that trivia question that I promised you. In 1961, there was a National Football League, the NFL, hosted a game at Bristol Motor Speedway between two teams. If you can name those two teams, ding, ding, ding. And as we have another caution, unfortunately, I believe Raymond Rittenauer actually lost control of his car. There it is, down to the inside. Looks like he has blown his engine, has taken it to pit road. Unfortunately, just 12 laps to go. Sitting with Edward Bray, and I am showing Edward Bray is now the only car on the lead lap. We'll have to see who gets the lucky dog, if anyone does. And unfortunate incident there for Raymond Rittenauer. May have been overdriving the car just a little bit. Looks like the 17 will get one of his laps back. That will put him just one lap down. Just 11 laps to go. Let's get a chat in with Joel Guy. Joel Guy, Ron Klein up in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Ron.
I'm not seeing you out there. Are you done for the evening?
Yes, I'm done for the evening. I slapped the wall and narrowed up my car by about 3 feet.
Well, I wished I would have known this earlier. I would have drug you up there, and well, ding ding ding, Becky Whitmer. I just can't stump her. That's 3 for 3 tonight. She has whooped my butt in the trivia tonight. So, congratulations to Becky Whitmer. It's always a good time playing trivia with the fans, but unfortunate night for quite a few cars out there. It looked like, Joel. Was it the setup, or was it the track, the combination of the car? What was the big issue tonight?
Well, I can't say for anybody else, but for myself, it's I could practice this car all day long and still couldn't drive it. I just cannot get used to driving a car with no fenders on it, except for the Indy cars. I can drive the Indy cars, but I can't drive these cars because of the offset, I assume.
Well, I usually like to try to give out give something out to someone if they can pick the winner of the race, and I didn't think about it until it was basically too late. There was only a couple cars left on the lead lap, and it kind of seemed unfair to to do it that way. So with just 8 laps to go here, we'll probably be coming to 7 to go. Maybe go green with 6 to go. Not sure. I am showing Edward Bray on the lead lap by himself.
That's correct.
So,
Edwards in the lap by himself.
barring him taking himself out of the race, all he has to do is stay out of trouble, and he pretty much has this one in the bag, literally.
That's true.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to keep you up here, and you can keep me company.
That's fine. I don't mind at all.
All right, so we're getting ready to go back to green. We're on the backstretch, and we got Edward Bray on the inside, Paul Pellizier on the outside, got Danny Rudy on the inside, and you got the number 17 to Harry Dodd hanging there in the back. He just got his lap back, so he has to start at the back, but he is considered to be in the second position. So, again, 6 laps to go. Get the green flag. He's going to cross the line. We're just going to have 5 laps to go. Paul Pellizier getting up at that fence just a little bit. Scary moment there. Edward Bray obviously thinking, I really don't need to go up there and get in any kind of trouble at this point. So Paul's going to drive it at like he stole it, and Edward just gonna kind of run in his tracks, I would think, huh, Joel?
Yeah, that's what I would do. Edwards on a lap by himself. Harry Dodd is still a lap down. He was too, but he's one now. So all Edwards got to do is just keep it clean and run to the end of the race, and he's got it.
He,
I wouldn't force the issue with anybody. Anybody wanted to pass me, I'd give them the road and let them pass.
all right, with just 3 laps to go, Paul Pellissier was out there in front. Looked like he was going to drive away. Edward Braid not really taking it as easy as I thought he would. He's kind of pushing the issue here as we are on our last lap. Now, Paul Pellissier is a clean driver, but these cars have been a handful all night. They did get side by side earlier. Paul does finish in front of Edward, so a little bit of glory there, so to speak, I guess. But Edward Bray bringing it home, first
Yeah,
place tonight.
Edward mentioned that he got home at 7 o'clock tonight and he started practicing. So his practicing did him good.
Copy that.
Like I said, though, I could practice all day long and still not be able to drive these cars.
Alrighty, as we have our top 2 so far. There we go. There's our third place car. And the 17 is Harry Dodd. I am not sure if Harry Dodd made it in TeamSpeak. We won't get a chance to talk to Harry, but we will be able to talk to Mr. Pellissier and Mr. Bray. So I tell you what, Joel, why don't you interview Paul Pellissier?
Paul, you got a copy on me. Joe
I
guy from
sure
the
do,
booth.
Joel.
How was your race, Paul?
It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was a little stupid at one point and hurt myself, but I had a blast.
Okay, well, you finished third. That's on the podium. That's better than a lot of us did. Some of us didn't even get to the finish line. Anybody you want to thank for give a shout out to tonight?
Absolutely. I want to give all kinds of love to KMA, KMA TV, all the admins, Ronald Klein for broadcasting tonight. And I mean, you guys make my life a good thing.
Okay, well, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow night at Daytona. I think we are.
I hope to be there. Yeah.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, like I said, folks, we don't have radio communications with our second place finisher of Harry Dodd, unless he is hiding somewhere that I cannot see him. So that takes me to the winner of this race, Edward Bray. Talk to me.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Uh,
That was a great race tonight.
yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. You and Paul were mixing up and having a good time out there. It looked like there was some good, clean racing between the two of you. Raymond was really, really running hard. Got one of his laps back the hard way, and thought, when Paul had that incident, I was like, wow, well, Edward's just kind of walk away with it here. Just nobody gonna. And then I realized that Raymond was actually gonna get his lap back and be on the lead lap, and I was like, wow, he was fast earlier. I wonder if he can be as fast again. Talk to me about at that point of the race, because I think obviously when Paul had his issue, that kind of ended what we thought was going to be the battle. But when Raymond got back on that lead lap, looked like he was giving you a pretty hard run for your money.
Yeah, well, when Paul had his little spin, I was trying to figure out how the race was going to be from there. And then Raymond got his lap back and came from behind, but then I happened to see him going to the pits, so I knew that he had fresher tires. But at the restart, as long as I had that middle line and forced him down there on the inside line, he was going to have to run a little harder and probably which happened. He got it loose and spun it. So as long as I was holding that middle line, I think I was pretty much faster in the turns, but he was a little faster on the straightaways.
Copy that, and that's I got to give you credit because I was watching that, and I thought, same thing with newer tires. He had a shot at getting to you, but I saw you driving the line that you were driving, and thought, you were making it very difficult for him to get around you. And just as you said, he made one little mistake, and you make one little mistake here, as we saw tonight. Man, it's pretty much it's a game changer and can be a night-ending incident. So it was a lot of fun watching you out there run earlier. One of the things I love about short track racing is, if we get a few cars out there like we did tonight at the beginning of the race, and somebody's a little bit slow, and you got to get around them. You got to give them the old chrome horn, so to speak. And I happened to catch that tonight. I saw you give somebody a little bump in the corner, which I thought was really awesome. I mean, that's part of short track racing. I know our rules in KMA, that's not something that we promote, but you weren't doing it to take them out of the race. You were trying to say, hey, I'm the leader, need to move out of the way. Is that how you felt about it?
No, it was actually it was by accident. I happened to, there was two of them in front of me. Um, was trying to figure out, I thought the lower car was going to go up high. I was going to have to go down low. The one car went down low, and so I was trying to watch him to make sure he didn't come back up. And looked to my right, and I think it was, not sure who it was, but I happened to bump him, and I was like, "Oh, my bad." So it was actually by accident.
Oh, that's even better because from up here it looked like you were like, "Hey, dude, I gotta go," and that is part of short track racing. A little bumping, a little banging. We expect that on the short tracks, and I thought it was a great night of racing. Enjoyed watching you guys race tonight. Talk to me about your paint job real quick, and then your sponsors and the team.
Well, this is just a paint job that I grabbed real quick from trading paints, but Black Talon um, race team went along with Lee Staples, sub team under KMA. We're still working on some paints here and there, so we're still trying to catch up to this to this racing on Wednesday night. So this is just a paint scheme that I happen to find. I like black, so here it is.
Well, copy that. You did an excellent job. Last thing, anybody you like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big shout out to you for holding the broadcast. Great job. Big shout out to Scott Kulovic, KMA Racing, KMA TV, and basically all of KMA league members. Without the league members and all that, we wouldn't be having races like this. So big shout out to the fans for watching. That helps sort of publicize all our racing. So big shout out to the fans as well.
Copy that. In addition to that, I would like to thank all of you admins. I know, we're kind of doing this a lot. We're doing a lot of racing now, and I want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting Wednesday nights. So thank you for that, and congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Ron.
Alrighty, Joel. Well, since you're up here and you were in the race and you were out of the race watching and you got to see the race, what'd you think?
Oh, thought it was a great race. I just can't wait until we get back to some cars with fenders on them so I can drive them. Like I said, this offset car, I just have never. I could practice all day long and never get the hang of it. I don't think. So I'll be glad to go back to what we normally run, which is fendered cars, and be ready for that.
Copy that. Well, I appreciate you coming up here in the booth for the last few laps and watching the race with me, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Have a good night, Ronald.
You too, Joel. Alrighty, fans. That's going to wrap it up here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Saw what I thought was a really good race tonight, and want to thank you all for coming out and watching, spending your evening with me, and hopefully next week we'll have a little bit bigger crowd as we watch Edward Bray doing some donuts down there. And yeah, thought it was a real good race. So on behalf of KMA Racing, KMA TV, and RTK Motorsports, I hope you enjoyed your evening with us. I'm Ronald Klein. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.